More than 50% of the population say they would leave the country if they had the chance. 1 in 5 young people is planning to move abroad. And 1 in 4 immigrants is considering packing up and leaving. In 2024 alone, a shocking figure was recorded: around 1.2 million people actually packed their bags, boarded planes, and left this country. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not talking about a nation consumed by war, poverty, or civil unrest. Welcome to Conflict Power Podcast, where we explore the hidden wars of power, finance, and technology that are silently reshaping the world. We are talking about the economic engine of Europe, a country once seen as the promised land of stability, fairness, and prosperity, Germany. What is happening inside Germany today? Why is a country that once opened its arms to millions of refugees, an industrial superpower with one of the world's most admired welfare systems, now witnessing such a silent yet brutal exodus? Why has the German dream turned into a dead end, pushing highly skilled engineers, brilliant students, and even native-born Germans to desperately seek an escape route? The great exodus when leaving becomes a serious choice. The wave of people leaving Germany is no longer a rumor. It has become a crisis spreading through every corner of society and across all social classes. A shocking survey conducted by YouGov and widely reported in the media found that 31% of respondents said they would definitely move abroad if they were not restricted by finances, work, or personal circumstances. Another 27% admitted they would probably do the same. Combined, this means that more than half of the population no longer feels deeply attached to their homeland. And 36% of those considering leaving said they had been thinking about it even more frequently in recent months. So who are the people most eager to leave? First, immigrants. Research involving tens of thousands of participants showed that 1 in 4 immigrants in Germany is considering leaving the country. But the most painful irony is that even their children born and raised in Germany with German citizenship often feel an even stronger desire to leave than their parents. This growing frustration affects everyone, from people of Turkish and Middle Eastern backgrounds to Eastern Europeans and even citizens from within the European Union. Second, native Germans themselves. Do not think only foreigners are becoming disillusioned. Many ethnic Germans are quietly packing their bags and moving to countries they consider safer and more stable, such as Switzerland, Austria, Spain, or Canada. Third, and perhaps the most dangerous loss of all, is the younger generation. Germany's 2026 youth report sounded a serious alarm. Nearly half of young Germans dream of living abroad, and 1 in 5 has already prepared a plan to leave. Their rejection is not loud. There are no riots. No smashed windows. It is a silent surrender measured in one-way airline tickets. And what is the consequence? In 2024 alone, approximately 1.2 million people officially left Germany. So why would one of the most advanced and prosperous nations in the world, Europe's so-called promised land, make people want to escape? The truth is not hidden in bombs or bullets. It lies in the darker corners of society and institutions that many people feel are suffocating them every single day. Why the German dream is falling apart. People often blame the weather or external geopolitical crises affecting Europe. But the painful reality slowly eroding Germany comes from within its own social structure, culture, and economy. The first issue is systemic discrimination. Many immigrants come to Germany hoping for equality and fairness. But once they enter reality, they collide with an invisible yet cold and rigid wall. Take the story of a Greek construction engineer who arrived in Germany at the age of 18. He earned a master's degree and spent 16 years building his life and career there. He worked countless jobs trying to integrate into society. Yet the barriers never disappeared. The breaking point came when a hotel allegedly refused to pay him more than 100,000 and coldly declared, "I will never allow a foreigner to live off Germany." Despite all his efforts, he realized that at school he was stereotyped as lazy, while at work he was labeled corrupt simply because of his background. Exhausted by prejudice, he eventually gave up and returned home. Many people believe that speaking perfect German will earn respect and acceptance. But that, too, can become an illusion. A Bulgarian project manager who had lived in Germany for nearly a decade and spoke flawless German still described being treated coldly. She recalled the heartbreaking feeling of people warmly talking to her one day, then acting like strangers the next. That constant emotional distance slowly wore her down until she decided to leave Germany entirely. The isolation became so severe that a Turkish cybersecurity expert bitterly compared the life of foreigners in Germany to being ghosts in Hollywood movies. You exist inside a crowded society. You can see everyone. But nobody truly sees you. Nobody truly cares about your existence. And you never fully belong. Unable to endure that suffocating atmosphere any longer, he eventually moved to the United Kingdom to start over. And these are not isolated stories. Statistics show that nearly 50 of those considering leaving Germany, especially immigrants, say discrimination and negative social experiences are among the biggest reasons for their decision. Germany may provide jobs and welfare benefits. But many feel it has failed to provide something even more important. The feeling of belonging. Economic stagnation crushing society. The second force suffocating people is economic stagnation. According to YouGov surveys, 41 of those wanting to leave Germany identified the prolonged economic slowdown as the primary reason. Germany now carries an unfortunate title. The only G7 economy that has failed to grow for 2 consecutive years. The International Monetary Fund forecasts German economic growth at only around 0.1 in 2025. This stagnation is weighing heavily on ordinary people, especially young workers and the middle class. Young Germans are carrying record levels of debt. Housing costs and rent prices have skyrocketed. Affordable apartments are becoming increasingly rare. Career opportunities feel less stable. Many people now believe vocational training offers a more practical future than university degrees. Young Germans are beginning to ask a painful question. What is the point of working so hard if effort no longer guarantees a stable life? At the same time, Germany's tax system is also weakening people's motivation to work. Many workers complain that even with full-time jobs, they still struggle financially. They argue that taxes on single people without children are excessively high and destroy incentives to contribute more. The combination of economic pressure and social discrimination is pushing more and more people toward the decision to leave. A society being torn apart. Alongside economic problems, Germany's political and social landscape is also becoming deeply fractured. Many people considering emigration say their biggest concern is immigration and growing social instability. In 2024, Germany received more than 237,000 asylum applications, over 25% of all asylum requests within the European Union. Rapid population growth has intensified housing shortages, increased welfare costs, and overwhelmed schools and public services. Fear and frustration are pushing German society into dangerous polarization. On one side stands the rapid rise of the far-right AfD party, known for its strong anti-immigration and nationalist positions. On the opposite side are left-wing political movements demanding stronger welfare systems and radical economic reforms. The most alarming part is that this polarization is splitting the younger generation itself. Many young men are moving toward the far right in search of a more traditional and closed Germany. Meanwhile, many young women increasingly support left-wing parties demanding greater social justice and stronger welfare policies. This growing divide exposes a brutal truth. Germany's political center is collapsing. Germany is not only suffering from brain drain. Its entire social structure is beginning to fracture from within. Even worse, pressure from every direction is pushing young Germans into a silent but extremely dangerous mental health crisis. Nearly 29% of young Germans now require psychological support. About 60% use smartphones at levels approaching addiction. Loneliness and emotional exhaustion have become so severe that many young people now turn to artificial intelligence simply to vent their feelings and seek comfort. They are no longer loudly protesting in the streets. Instead, they suffer quietly, accumulate frustration, and eventually purchase a one-way ticket out of a society they no longer feel connected to. And do you know what is truly terrifying for Germany today? It is not just the number of people leaving. It is the type of people leaving. Many of them are not failures. They are engineers, doctors, programmers, outstanding students, highly skilled workers, exactly the people Germany desperately needs to survive. For decades, Germany operated like one of the most efficient industrial machines in modern history. But now that machine is beginning to lose momentum because of a much deeper crisis. A demographic crisis. Germany is aging at an extremely dangerous speed. Millions of baby boomers are entering retirement. Meanwhile, birth rates have remained critically low for years. The result is an economic nightmare. A massive industrial nation with fewer and fewer young people capable of sustaining it. Factories lack engineers. Hospitals lack doctors. Technology companies lack software developers. According to research from the German Institute for Employment Research, the people most likely to leave Germany are often the highly educated, successful, and best integrated individuals. In other words, Germany is losing the very elite workforce it needs most. This brain drain could deal a devastating blow to Germany's demographic structure and economy. The country already suffers from severe shortages of skilled labor across multiple sectors. When engineers, doctors, cybersecurity experts, and managers take their talent and capital to the UK, Switzerland, or back to their home countries, who will continue operating Germany's industrial machine? Without decisive solutions to retain talent, Germany could fall into a dangerous vicious cycle. As workers leave, tax revenues decline. As tax revenues fall, the welfare state struggles to support retirees and refugees. To compensate, the government raises taxes on those who remain. And that, in turn, pushes even more people toward leaving. Experts warn that Germany is walking on an extremely fragile line. On one hand, the country cannot allow immigration pressures to overwhelm society, because doing so fuels the rise of far-right political movements. But on the other hand, Germany still desperately needs immigrants to sustain its economy and social system. Yet solving this crisis requires far more than tax cuts or new policies. It demands a deep transformation in social attitudes. Germany needs stronger educational and political efforts to confront systemic discrimination. Many critics argue that Berlin's inability to respond effectively is transforming Germany from a land of opportunity into a transit station for disappointment. Since 2015, under Chancellor Angela Merkel's open-door migration policy, approximately 6.5 million people arrived in Germany. Today, even though border controls have become stricter, the silent wave of departures continues to rise. But the bitter paradox is this. Perhaps the people who should fear this crisis most are not only Germany's leaders but all of Europe. Because Germany may no longer be capable of sustaining its role as the economic engine of the European Union. For decades, Germany powered Europe forward. German factories produced cars, machinery, and industrial technology for the entire world. But now the model that once created Germany's economic miracle is being attacked from every direction. High energy prices after the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Intense industrial competition from China. Growing military pressure from NATO. An aging population. Deepening political polarization. If Germany remains weak for too long, the shockwaves could destabilize all of Europe. History has repeatedly shown one brutal truth. No empire collapses solely because of enemies from outside. Most begin to decay because of fractures from within. And now the biggest question is this. Can Germany still reinvent itself in time to save itself, or is Europe witnessing the slow decline of its most important nation? Thank you for watching the video to the end. If you found the analysis in this video helpful in understanding the currency wars, geopolitics, and power struggles silently operating in the world, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more content. And now, I'd love to hear your perspective.